Every Cloud Kingdom has a silver lining. I think that's how the saying goes. This split is considered a nice break in the run between Wooded Kingdom and Lost. Still, here are a few optimizations that you can learn to improve your Cloud Gold to reach new heights. I'm Danster and this is Change of Pace for Cloud Kingdom.
Climbing out of the trenches, reaching for higher heights.
Chasing me along, all I want is you when we was chasing time.
Well, I am the boss, I am the dawn, I am the one they call.
I ain't got much to explain though, But then I was running for bangos, I was still minimum wage though.
If you haven't watched the introduction video, make sure to check it out to understand how this series works. As a quick summary, there will be different strats for different skill levels. The lower ones serve as a basis for the higher ones. If you're feeling confident though that you already know the strats for a pace, feel free to check the timestamps to find the skill level that fits you best. Also, since Cloud is such a short kingdom, we won't have all paces in this video. Now, let's get moving.
I'm just a kid with a glimmer of hope. I'm just a kid with a kid and potential to glow.
Let's first look at the strats I would recommend for runners with a PB of 104 or 105 who are trying to get their sum of best down to around 103 flat. In this segment, these are also the strats for the 102 and 103 pace. After mashing through the cutscenes, make sure to be aware that a cutscene which is common in other kingdoms is missing here. So when Mario is walking down here, be prepared to start with the movement immediately. Jump and dive, then long jump. Cap dive and make sure you don't cap throw too close to the clouds, because that can easily kill you. It's best to do the long jump to the left or right of the cloud triggers. Then activate the last cloud with a cap throw and dive onto it. Jump and dive again and in a straight line, roll towards the center of the arena. Now be prepared to skip the cutscene, which will happen after doing 2 to 3 roll boosts after leaving this slightly elevated platform. Try to get a feeling for when the cutscene starts. In the fight, we are going to go for fast heads. This is a trick that saves a few seconds and is mostly based on good timing. For the first phase, it's pretty much just about getting to Bowser as fast as possible. So after the cutscene, immediately start rolling and aim slightly right of him. After 5 boosts, just go forward and start running. Jump when you're halfway up the slope and throw Cappy towards him. For the trick to work, you have to throw Cappy at the same time Bowser throws his head at you. That way you will instantly steal it from him and you can start punching immediately. The fastest way of punching is to just shake your controller, no need to press any buttons. Now, getting the fast head is one thing, but there's another optimization I would recommend going for. Depending on the direction we're punching Bowser, we can manipulate his movement and reduce the time he travels for some extra time save. That's why it's important to aim right of him when you roll towards him. After grabbing the head, you're already in a good position to punch him into the right direction. So what is the right direction? For that, pay attention to the boss arena. It consists of 8 of these elevated platforms which Bowser can move to. After each phase, he gets pushed off the fence to the closest platform and then he does another jump onto the platform that's opposite of the platform you're closest to. It's fastest if you punch him in a way that he moves 2 platforms away from the platform you're on. In the meantime, you can move 1 platform further, so Bowser will only do a small jump to the platform next to him. This might sound complicated, but in the end it's actually not that difficult to do. One trick to see whether you punched Bowser in the right direction is by looking at the taller poles of the fence, the ones with Bowser's head on them. These mark the different sections from where Bowser moves to the different platforms. So, by looking at the fence in the background, you can almost aim where you have to punch Bowser to. This would be the correct section he has to fly to. Also, if you realize that you aren't in the right position, it is possible to jump before you start punching. Then you can mash both jump buttons to both hit Bowser, but also be able to still adjust your position. Just make sure you stay close to him so you keep punching. Don't worry if you haven't hit Bowser in the right section, just continue on by buffering a spin pound and roll to the left. This way he will do the shorter jump now. Stop rolling and turn towards him when you're close to the platform, then start rolling again until you're close to him. The second fast head is arguably the most difficult one. First of all, the correct head should always be one of the two to the right here. So go towards there, and once the heads spawn, position yourself in front of the white one. Make sure to roughly have this distance from the head, as being too close or far can cause issues. Face away from the head, and now it's about the right timing. Backflip a bit before Bowser throws that head, so you're right above it when it happens. Then, just like in the first phase, throw Cappy towards Bowser at the moment he throws the head at you. For fast heads, there are 4 scenarios that can happen. First of all, you can be successful and just grab the head. Secondly, you can get hit by it, which means that you threw Cappy too late. Thirdly, you can throw Cappy a bit too early, which causes Bowser to take the head back and move to another platform. And finally, it can also happen that the head lands somewhere near Bowser, which also means you threw Cappy too early. In this case, you're often lucky though and can quickly grab the head. As you can see, timing is really important, and it takes a while to get it into your muscle memory. Make sure to always focus on it, and you will get the hang of it rather soon. For the second phase, manipulating Bowser to move the shortest distance works just like in the first phase. For the final phase, we are going to go for a damage boost in order to make the fast head easier. The damage doesn't matter, as it will be refilled when going to Lost. Be careful with it though, because you obviously can only do it if you have at least 2 HP. If you're on 1, I would recommend just going for the slower strat to grab the head, since fast heads is pretty difficult in this phase without the damage boost. With more HP, position yourself close to the area where the heads spawn and then move into them once they're there. It is recommended to do this damage boost on the white head or at least close to it. Now you are invincible for a bit and don't have to worry about other heads messing up your setup for the final fast head. Again, stand in front of the correct head, face away from it and backflip so you're right above it at the right time. Then throw Cappy and steal the head mid-air. Punch Bowser, don't forget to jump over the tail and then finish him off. Skip the final cutscene and you're done with Cloud. With these strats, you can go for a 132 gold for your SOB goal of 103 flat. For people of the 103 and 102 pace, who we don't have any specific tricks for in this video, I'd recommend going for a 130 gold, which is also doable with cleaner execution. There are a few more optimizations that you can learn, and we will look at those now for the 2 higher paces. I love saying the name of the series. Here's a change of pace.
Hurry up quick, El Jefe's coming soon. Sit up straight when she enters the room.
Now let's look at the final tricks to bring your gold down as much as possible. This is for both the runners with a BB of 100 and 101 and the people with sub-hour. You can decide for yourself when you want to start going for the strats, but I think they are viable for everyone who has a PB in that range. Let's start with one of the coolest looking tricks SMO has to offer, Cloud Boost. Spin pound once possible and aim for the cloud triggers. To make this strat work, you want to hit it at just the right time so Mario can pick up the momentum of the extending cloud. To set that up, do a spin throw roll cancel jump around here. For that, you have 2 options. I prefer doing a clockwise spin throw. To make it work, aim straight left for the motion control and then jump forward right towards a cloud. It's a precise trick, but if your timings and angles are correct, you should now be able to get a boost from the cloud. Once the cloud extends, jump and pray you get flinked as far as possible. Optimally, you can simply dive to the other side, but that's pretty rare. Most of the time you have to throw in a cap dive in order to make it to the other side. Other option you have in the beginning is just a mirrored version of the first one, so a counterclockwise spin throw to the right. That should work as well. Just mess around with both and see what is easier and more consistent for you. The fight itself doesn't change too much, but we are going to try to grab the hint dart in the middle of it now. I would say it's really worth going for that trick, as you don't lose time to not going for it if you miss the hint dart. Well, as long as you get the fast head in the second phase, which is more difficult now. But we will get to that later. First of all, start off the fight as usual. While punching Bowser, turn the camera so you can see the spot where the hint dart is located. You have to be really careful here to punch Bowser to the right spot to still get the Bowser manipulation. If you only hit him 1 platform far, your movement for the second fast head is going to be weird, although not impossible to make. You can tell if you hit him far enough by the sound he makes when hitting the platform, as well as the screen shake, which is a little different in both scenarios. Now, spin point like you always did, but aim towards here. The spot is quite precise and it's obviously hard to describe. One tip is to pay attention to the little barrier around the arena. There are very subtle lines on them which you can use as a visual cue. They are probably not visible here because they got lost in video compression during the recording and exporting of this video, but you can notice them while playing. Try to use them as a cue and get used to the correct spot by doing that. After the spin pound, roll there and buffer another spin pound. The timing for the second phase isn't super tight, so you can take a few tenths of a second to position yourself before doing the spin pound. Now roll towards Bowser. First, do 2 roll boosts on the raised platform, then just roll down the slope. After that, do another 5 roll boosts. Those should get you into the right position to do the triple jump and be not too fast nor too slow. Optimally, you want the correct head to always be the right head, but this so-called strav manip is a myth to most people and to me as well. Also, if you only hit Bowser 1 platform far earlier, you will be too fast for the triple jump to work. If that is the case, I would suggest just rolling as fast as possible towards the heads and set up the normal method of the second phase as quickly as you can. It's really tight, but it can work. After doing the triple jump, you should end up over the head at just the right time to perform the second phase fast head. Of course, you can hold back during the triple to get in the right position. This is all you need to know about grabbing the hint art, and this actually also is the last change for this video. But as always, let's run it all back and look at tiny or invisible time saves throughout the kingdom. Ask yourself the following questions. Is your mashing good? For a short and optimized split like this, mashing is really important. Compare your mashing to other runners and check out the change of pace episode on that topic if you haven't. Do you do these roll boosts in the optimal spots? You want to roll boost on this little slope and then get another fast boost off of it. Do you skip the cutscene instantly? Do you hit Bowser to the optimal position so the distance he travels from the fence to the platform is minimized as much as possible? Do you start punching Bowser as early as possible, same for after jumping over his tail? You can also dive towards him as long as you hold back to avoid getting hit. With all of that, you should be able to get a 129 or 128 respectively for these 2 paces. This episode was not only a change of pace, but also a bit of a change of pace team. Thank you to Flavien and new member Stealthz, who both recorded the clips. Thanks to Duckable for editing this episode, to Eden for checking over the script, and to Lupus for writing the script. And thanks to that 2106 guy, might be new to you, I don't know. Show him some love by liking and subscribing, I guess. I'm Danster and I might start talking about myself in the third person now, because he do be finding that kinda fancy. See you next time for Change of Pace for Lost Kingdom.